You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
I think he's dead. Mitch McConnell pulls a Franco based on an article by Adam Lynch. McConnell's absence is not the mystery. The power grab is. The source of the story. Mitch McConnell has not been seen publicly since a June 14 hospital admission, and his office has released almost nothing beyond claims that he is continuing to improve. That vacuum has predictably produced speculation about his condition. But the rebel's story is not gossip about a senator's health. It is what happens when a single aging political machine keeps operating while the people it governs are kept in the dark. Who actually holds power? The article makes the central fact plain. Unelected staff are already running parts of McConnell's operation, consulting with Congress and making decisions in his absence. That is not a temporary procedural inconvenience. It is a reminder that modern political power often survives the incapacitation of the elected figure by shifting to aides, lawyers, party operatives, and institutional loyalists who were never chosen by voters. That is the ugliness here. The elected office remains on paper, the authority migrates elsewhere. Kentucky voters are left with representation by proxy, except this proxy is not even the formal constitutional kind. It is staff governance by inertia protected by silence. The rebel decision was made earlier. If McConnell cannot return, the Senate loses a Republican vote because Senate rules do not allow proxy voting. That is the immediate institutional consequence. But the deeper decision was made in Kentucky in 2024 when the Republican-dominated legislature stripped Democratic Gov. and Beshear of the power to appoint a temporary replacement. They did not do this in the name of democratic clarity. They did it to block a Democratic governor from choosing a successor. That matters because it exposes the governing instinct at war. Not stability, not service, but partisan entrenchment. Republican lawmakers designed a vacancy process that turns even a straightforward succession problem into a legal and political trap. If the seat goes empty, that is not an accident of fate. It is the predictable outcome of a legislature that prioritized denying Beshear power over ensuring representation. Misdirection as a political habit. The reporting spends time on uncertainty about McConnell's health because the information void invites it. But that uncertainty should not obscure the more concrete abuse of public office being managed by non-elected insiders while the public is denied meaningful clarity and a state legislature having already rigged the succession rules to preserve partisan leverage. This is how institutional decay is narrated in American politics. The public gets treated to a personality mystery while the structural offense is tucked into procedure. The frame becomes what is happening to McConnell, when the better question is who benefits from keeping the seat, the staff, and the rules in a state of controlled ambiguity. Gerontocracy with teeth. The source correctly points to a broader pattern, gerontocratic politics in Washington, where aging power centers continue to dominate long after they are functionally diminished. That pattern is not just about age. It is about institutions that value continuity of control more than actual democratic accountability. McConnell's case fits that pattern because the office survives, the staff remains, and the voters do not get honest governance in exchange. The system is built to preserve partisan assets, not to guarantee that elected officials are present, capable, or answerable in any immediate sense. When the machinery is this dependent on long-entrenched figures, the absence of one man can expose how little the institution is prepared to function democratically without him. The system beneath the spectacle. The larger lesson is blunt. American political institutions are often designed less to serve the public than to preserve power through delay, opacity, and procedural sabotage. Kentucky Republicans made succession harder on purpose. Senate rules preserve absences as losses instead of forcing timely accountability. Staff step in. Information stays scarce. The public gets spectacle, not control. That is a pattern: power hoarded, responsibility diffused, and representation treated as a negotiable asset. The story is not that McConnell might be gone. The story is how easily a party and its institutions can turn that possibility into another demonstration of democratic neglect. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Alternate for today's article, with the automated voice of Arctic. Thanks for listening.